Being believing I can have it all now, dancing by my life. Take your passion, make it happen. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through your life. What I feel
I'm tired of being humble. I'm tired of letting people think they got a chance. The tribal chief is head and shoulders above everybody.
Hey. The Turnbuckle King is here in the building. We got Toxic Rain Scandal, aka KDH. Toxic Rain Scandal. We got a good one all week long. Did Samantha Irvin leave WWE because of Ricochet? We here at the locker room. I want to talk about today the weirdest couple exit ever in wrestling. And we're going to talk about how both now Ricochet and his fiance Samantha Irvin, who were both once in WWE as a couple, are both no longer in WWE. And we're going to talk about it. And we indeed going to talk about it. Get to see the locker room. Let's get ready. And as usual, guys, you already know it's going to be some dirty laundry being aired. Now, my thing is, when I talk about this Samantha Irvin leave, we know that Samantha Irvin was a very vital, important part of WWE. She was a ring announcer for WWE for quite some time. It feels like she's been in there for years. It really has feel like she's been there years, like 10, even maybe 15 years. But in reality with Samantha Irvin, guys, she's really only been in WWE for 3 years. She started in 2021. If you look up the records, I checked. She started NXT 2.0 era. She worked her way to the main roster on SmackDown and worked her way to Monday Night Raw. And then that's before she departed WWE. Shortly after Ricochet left, who left in June 2024, and Samantha left in October 2024. So they both left in that 4-month gap. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because if this is a couple, guys, we know that this is a couple that's very popular on WWE television. We know that every time we see these two together, they always, holding hands, always taking photos, whatever the case may be. And we know now it's not just their regular couple. We also know since we want to say beginning of last year, we know these two are recently engaged. They are still engaged now. They've been engaged since, like I said, 2023. They have not been married. They are still, fiancés. Ricochet, her fiance, and vice versa. But it just seemed weird that did she leave because of him? Because I just don't understand the logic. He left. Why didn't she leave with him? That's the only thing I'm concerned about. It just seemed weird to me. Salute, CeeLo. But yeah, these two, like I said, they you would never expect them. It was shocking Ricochet left, but even more, so much more shocking when Samantha left. And I believe that when Ricochet left WWE to go into AEW, where he is currently, I think for Samantha, I just don't think things were the same. I don't think things were the same because of that. Because if you notice, when Samantha was with Ricochet in WWE, she was getting all the attention. It was always the announcers talking about her. They showed her reaction her interaction with the superstars, whether it was Jey Uso, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes when he was on Raw before he went to SmackDown, and many others you saw with backstage segments, pictures backstage, everything. And you didn't see that once anymore when Ricochet left. And I seem to believe that once Ricochet left, especially go to the rival promotion known as AEW, maybe WWE didn't feel they could trust Samantha, up in the spotlight like that because your fiance is in the opposite promotion and the promotion WWE is not fond of, which is AEW. And I think once that happened and it sunk in finally, things were never ever the same for Samantha. I mean, tell me what I'm telling lies.
I'm tired of being nice. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
It was never the same for her. We didn't even notice her sometimes. We knew that she was there when we hear her announcing all the wrestlers, male or female, in the matches. We get all of that, but we didn't see all the reactions like we used to get. We didn't get that. We didn't even get her, barely saw on the show. And it just feel like things were not the same for her. And it seemed like it just wasn't flowing anymore. That's the signs that I was seeing with Samantha. Now, the thing I'm going to say about this too, my question, now I know there's been speculation that Samantha gave WWE heads up notice months prior. It's been speculation that Samantha already, is on good terms with WWE. But that's the question I'm going to ask. Did she really leave on good terms? Because you did abruptly just left. Did she really leave on good terms or was it bad terms? Now, I know most of these past Raws and SmackDowns been taped due to the upcoming PLE Crown Jewel that is in Saudi Arabia. And the time zone, of course, is very, very different than it is here in the States. I get all of that. But it seemed like things were not on good terms. And like I said, her and Ricochet did not leave WWE together. They left at very separate times. Now, I know they also said, too, that Samantha left WWE because of the conflict in schedules with Ricochet and AEW, that her and Ricochet were unable to spend as much time together as they were prior. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Ricochet is in AEW, but AEW doesn't do anywhere near the traveling rate that WWE does. Yes, AEW has done shows overseas. They had the All In overseas, but WWE is doing literally international shows on a regular basis, not just PLEs. I mean, think about most of the PLEs have been international. We had Elimination Chamber in Perth. We've had Clash at the Castle. We had Bash in Berlin. We had Backlash in France. We had recently, we just had upcoming Crown Jewel Saudi Arabia. We've had lots of shows overseas with WWE. So it's safe to say WWE does a lot of international traveling, meaning they are traveling across the world. I mean, they have done many PLEs this year. And Money in the Bank as well was in Canada. They haven't done some of the shows have been in the States as far as PLEs, which is Royal Rumble. That was in the States. WrestleMania Philadelphia. SummerSlam, that was in Ohio. But most of their shows are in international. So since Ricochet's not with WWE anymore, AEW does not travel internationally nowhere near the level. The only time he did travel international was All In, and that's what he debuted at. Other than that, most of their shows are in states. They don't travel as nearly as far. They're in smaller states. They don't travel like that in AEW. So you would think, since Ricochet is in AEW now, you would think that he is now traveling less. If he's traveling less, that means he has more time to spend with Samantha. So I don't get this whole notion that Samantha said her and Ricochet couldn't spend as much time together. It was scheduled conflict, and he's traveling less days a year. He's around more compared to his prior schedule in WWE. So that seems kind of odd to me, and I don't know. It don't seem right. So I disagree with that's the reason why she left. I disagree with it. Don't seem right to me. So she just left. Why didn't she leave with her fiance? That's the only thing I'm questioning. I'm still questioning that. Ricochet has more time than ever. I mean, even when they booked her to leave, remember Ricochet was the last time he was seen on WWE TV. It seemed like Samantha was going to go with him. She was going to ride off to go off and do her thing with Ricochet in AEW, but she came right back. And I think that's just, I said, that's a red flag to me. That is a red flag, and it goes on the list for that.
No. Words? You just made the list.
Yeah, so I think this is just odd to me, and I know that like I said, they said that Samantha wants to pursue a singing career because that Samantha's been on many singing talent shows prior to WWE. But that's what I heard from Lillian Garcia. That's what she said on her Instagram earlier this week.
Really go back to the WWE after being gone for like 8 years? I mean, I've popped in every now and then, but it's been 8 years since I was the full-time announcer there. And my goodness, when my music hit and I got introduced, the cheers and the applause and the roar that you gave me tonight, thank you. Thank you for that, because I was nervous. I was so nervous. I could even tell when I started announcing that I was nervous. But it is all worth it. It's all worth taking a risk and a gamble and just being excited and just coming back. I just seeing everybody, right? Like between also the WWE superstars, my friends, and reuniting with the crew. I don't know where this is all going, but I'm excited and I am strapping on my seatbelt for that. But Sam, I do want to tell you, I think you're an extraordinary talent. You're unbelievable. And I know it could not have been easy to walk away from here, but I wish you all the success in your music career. I know you're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. Okay, but WWE Universe, I look forward to seeing you. I look, forward to signing your autographs and to high-fiving and all of that. All right, I love you. I'm back. I'm back home.
Do you guys believe that Samantha Irvin really left WWE, according to Lillian Garcia, that she left to go pursue a music career? Are you guys buying that? Because I tell you my answer is...
No.
I call cap on that. I don't think so. Let's see what you guys had to say. List Kid, if I said it correctly. Ricochet probably didn't want her to go out or her out there like that. He got a fragile ego. I agree. Superior Nerve, salute to you. Always welcome to have you. Yeah, I find it strange that Samantha Irvin left way too soon. Samantha Irvin was still in Samantha Prime. She left because of his simple ass. Yep, CeeLo, you ain't never lying. Yeah, he got mad fans didn't move over to AEW, which is weird, fam. Not gonna lie. Yeah, I just find it's very strange with Samantha leaving like that. She left abruptly, like you said, while she was still in her prime of WWE, while she's still been announcing. I mean, I'm not taking nothing away from Samantha. I'm not saying she don't want to pursue a music career because she has no vocals, she can't sing. Obviously, she has an amazing voice. Come on. For me to say that would be ludicrous, right? But no, she definitely has a voice. You guys heard her on the announced time and time again, and also she can sing. We know that.
Beings believe that I can have it all now, dancing by my life. Take your passion, make it happen. Pictures come alive, you can dance right through it live. What a feeling.
So we know she can blow. I'm not taking that from her. But let's face the facts here. Samantha, if I'm not mistaken, is 35 years old. What chances that Samantha Irvin is really gonna have a skyrocketing music career at age 35? You know, I'm just saying, I'm not hating or nothing. Like I said, I gave her props. What's the chance that she is going to go on the music scene and really take off at age 35? Is that really going to happen now? You know, I don't think so. I don't see that happening because her age, not because she doesn't have talent. So, yeah, and Samantha should stay WWE. Samantha could have had FaceTime. Rick, yeah. And if Samantha wanted music, I sure that we could have gave her a WWE studio. They should have one. Yeah, I find it real she's up in leaves like that for a music career. You heard what Lillian Garcia said. She wants to pursue a music career, but I still call cap on that. Why was she starting out at her age? Why would she do that now? I mean, it doesn't make any sense why she would go ahead and just start a career at her age. If she would have had a pursue music career and really go full with it, once she done that maybe 15 years prior or at least 10 years prior, why start at age 35? That's all I'm saying. You know, it just seemed weird to me. And this is a statement, if you guys remember, she left. Remember, she left this statement here. She want to thank everybody. She thanked Paul Heyman, Michael P.S. Hayes, Michael Cole, Triple H, Road Dogg, Scott Armstrong. The list goes on and on. She thanked everybody, said the women's locker room was the best locker room. But thing about it is, something still don't seem right with this situation here. It still don't seem right. Now, call me crazy. Now, when people in WWE, when they leave, especially someone like Samantha, why didn't Samantha get a farewell send-off? Like I said, I know the previous Raw and SmackDown are taped, but she gave them months ahead in advance that she was leaving. Why didn't WWE acknowledge that? Because I didn't see any tributes online on Raw, nothing like that. We didn't even know she was gone. She announced she was leaving the day of Raw, that afternoon. Now that just sound weird to me. They would have did something big for her. They would have. It just don't seem right. And how I know this don't seem right, if you guys remember a backstage interviewer who no longer works for WWE, earlier this year, she left WWE too. And her name happens to be Kayla Braxton. Now, Kayla Braxton, nowhere near as popular as Samantha Irvin. You know, people know her, but she was nowhere near in the spotlight like Samantha was, not even close. They did something special for her when she left. If you guys remember, her last SmackDown, that she was on SmackDown, was in Madison Square Garden in New York. One of the best, biggest venues ever. Everybody wants to go to the Garden. Memorable place. They did something for her. If you guys remember, or if you don't know, WWE had a little tribute for her after that show was over on SmackDown that night back in June. Remember, Kayla left in June. But if you guys remember. Now, that was Kayla getting her tribute. And Cody Rhodes was there with her, too. The WWE champion, the face of the company. She had tribute for that, and she also had backstage segments with Bayley and other WWE superstars. LA Knight give her a farewell tribute, and Paul Heyman. Now, how come she got love and Samantha didn't? That just sound weird to me. It sounds very, very odd to me. They did something for her. Now, before anybody goes any further, because I know people, the first thing you're going to say, well, Kayla Braxton was there for 8 years. She was there before Samantha. I understand that. I do. But she was not popular like Samantha was. They didn't put the camera on her as much as they did on Samantha. I know she was there way before her. And I know she's a backstage interviewer, not a ring announcer. That's what I'm saying. Samantha had a much bigger role than Kayla Braxton. Much bigger role. Like I said, Kayla Braxton got a proper tribute. They sent her off in style. They didn't do the same for Samantha Irvin. Kayla got a proper send-off. And the reason I'm bringing this up of Kayla Braxton, of why she got a proper send-off, because Kayla Braxton left on good terms. She gave WWE notice way prior, like employees should have. So they sent her off right, because there's no bad blood between Kayla and WWE. We see that with her. She got a tribute. We see that. Why wasn't the same said for Samantha, who's way much more popular than her and had a way more impact on WWE? No disrespect to Kayla, way more impact to WWE than Kayla did. Don't y'all find that suspicious that she got a tribute, Kayla, but Samantha didn't? So I don't want to hear all this. Oh, Samantha, left prior. She left on good terms. How? Why didn't they give her a tribute? Why no send-off? Like I said, I know she was there 8 years, but she didn't have the same impact Samantha did. So like I said, you guys let me know if I'm telling lies on this one, because I'm stating facts right now.
I'm tired of being nice. Tell me when I'm telling lies.
And what's crazy is Kayla left the same month Ricochet left. Ricochet left in June. Kayla left later that month. So she literally left right before Samantha did too, and she got treated properly. So that's the only thing I see weird about that. Let's see what you guys have to say about it so far. Or maybe Samantha Irvin's doing OnlyFans. Yeah, that remains to be seen. Yeah, that's really strange for Samantha Irvin did get a proper farewell. They told her thank you and good luck. Yeah, come on, for Samantha, that's weird. I remember Kayla Braxton, so freaking fine. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kayla's attractive just like Samantha. They gave her a tribute. Why didn't they do the same for Samantha? She did not get a tribute. No tribute at all for her. So I just found that very strange. That's, like I said, maybe it's just me. I didn't see no proper tribute for Samantha. I didn't see them sending her off like that at all. But I did see them do it for Kayla, who left just 4 months before Samantha did. So if you guys, I don't know if you guys know either though, but Samantha, when she came into WWE, she wasn't even supposed to be an announcer. If you guys know that Samantha Irvin, she was supposed to be a wrestler. I don't know if you guys know that. Now I know some people may know she got brought in by Mark Henry and all that. That's true. That's very, very true. It is. But the thing about it is, guys, she wasn't supposed to be an announcer. And she said this in this interview here. This interview was Not So Sam a while back, and she spoke about this actually. So let's see what she had to say. And this is Samantha on Not So Sam. Credit to him. I know he's a correspondent for WWE. He does that. I think he was on the Bump That show and some other shows. But let's see what she had to say.
Like, I mean, everybody loves the Fink. We all love, Howard Finkel, GOAT.
Yep.
In my mind.
Yes.
I think Tony Chimmel did a lot for himself with that Rated R Superstar intro.
Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, you have added character elements to so many of your introductions. Was that something that you just started doing? Or did somebody go, hey, you know,
I proved it to them, but they appreciated that I gave it.
Let's hear that again. Let's hear that again. Let's go to back. She was not supposed to wrestle. I mean, she was supposed to wrestle, but not a ring announce.
a lot for himself with that Rated R Superstar intro.
Of course.
Yeah. But I mean, you have added character elements to so many of your introductions. Was that something that you just started doing, or did somebody go, hey, trained voice, why don't you mess around with it?
WWE. Like I did the tryout, like the wrestler tryout. I'm not
really.
Yeah. So
oh, because I was gonna joke, even wrestle, but you're like, yeah.
I can't wrestle. Okay. I proved it to them. But they appreciated that I gave it a try. That was my way in the door. And then I ended up doing backstage interviews on NXT, ring announcing 205. So I wasn't really sure where I was going to end up. But who started it? The person that started it for me was Tony D'Angelo.
Oh, give it up.
Tony D'Angelo. Because I'm like, I just... that kind of got my wheels spinning of like, I can kind of do that for a lot of people,
right?
You know?
Yeah.
And then you think, why am I here? Like, I'm a singer, I'm an actress, I'm a goofball, I'm a huge fan. Like, why am I here? Well, I'm just going to go for it.
That is such a wild thing that you go in, you try out for something, maybe you don't get the thing that you wanted to do, and then you end up over here and you've carved out this niche for yourself that you were never intending to be a part of.
Well, thank you. I didn't, honestly, when they said ring announce, the first thing I thought, obviously, Lillian Garcia.
Yes, give it up for Lillian Garcia.
So Lillian, who I love, I always used to tell people, like, I'll be Lillian Garcia. Like, I didn't say I'd ring announce. I said, oh, yeah, I'll be Lillian Garcia one day.
Be her.
Like, that's the role. Lillian Garcia is the role. So I wanted to remind, as a fan, I wanted to remind everyone of Howard and Lillian. And now all the fans do is remind me that I'm not Howard and Lillian.
Do
like, you ain't Howard, you ain't Lillian. I'm like, I know.
Who do you think you are?
Just trying to do my job.
Yeah. I think people are surprised to find out what a big WWE fan you are, that you grew up a WWE fan.
Oh, yeah. Should I even say?
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't want to lose my job.
Mm-hmm.
You got to play it cool when you're around these people. You got to play it cool.
Can't walk around like a Mizark.
That's the only reason that I ended up going this path. The pandemic happened. I was doing a bunch of theater and everything closed. I was tweeting, talking my smack about wrestling, you know, and Mark Henry, he found me basically. And he was like, you want to be in WWE? Like, I could get you a tryout. I was like, whatever I can do, absolutely 100%.
So were you an athlete at all, or
no?
You just went for it?
I am not. No way. I'm not an athlete. I was the only non-athlete in the tryout. I was the oldest girl in the tryout. The only mom in the tryout. It was terrible.
Yeah. I may be older than you and a parent, but I'm not an athlete.
Listen, it was trash. It was trash, but I finished it, and that's what mattered.
By it?
I was disgusted, obviously. By day one, I was looking at everyone like, we're really going to go back and do more? There was 2 days to the tryout. So the second day, I was trying to pull the fire alarm. I was trying to round up the girls and see, like, we don't have to do this. Like, if we all stick together.
You're trying to start a revolution.
Yeah.
They're like, we just won't hire any of you.
They should have listened to me.
You're right. No, you're right.
But I finished it, and that's what matters, that I completed it. And actually, one girl, she, like, dislocated her arm like right before the last time we had to like run the ropes, and I was like, thank God she dislocated her arm. You know what I'm saying? She's fine now though.
Who was it, like, wrestling wise? Who was it that you looked at going, oh yeah, that's kind of, because even if you didn't have it in your head, I'm going to be a wrestler at some point, you know, when Mark Henry's like, you're going to get a tryout, you got to think to yourself, I got to wrestle like somebody, right?
It's the weirdest feeling because I think that I'd be like Angelo Dawkins if I was going to be like anybody. He's my favorite. That's what I would want to try to be like.
Right.
You know, but I honestly was hoping that they wouldn't hire me for that.
You just want to get in doing something.
Because I knew if they did, I'm a wrestler now. Great. Now it's going to be really hard. I'm going to put my all into it. And so I was just glad that they were like, no, we can't.
Yeah, no.
That's not going to happen.
No.
So yeah, that was
honey.
good. But I also know how it works. I know how, my passion and everything. I just wanted them to see how much I love it, how much I care. I'm an entertainer. And luckily it worked out. But like I said, I would have done anything they asked me to do.
How did you become a wrestling fan?
My dad.
Yeah.
My dad is Irvin. He's the original Irv. So I grew up. I mean, it's probably the first show I ever watched on TV is wrestling. And it's been very consistent in my house to this day. I have younger brothers who are obsessed. We're all a huge wrestling family.
They're still obsessed.
Still obsessed.
So
yes.
that's
yes.
they're still obsessed. They're still as big fans.
Still, the day of my tryout, that first day, I got in the car, I called them, and I cried. Couldn't believe that I in the PC, that I was in the ring. Back there, when H walked in, I was the emotion.
Been this confident because that takes a lot of confidence to just go into a wrestling tryout as a non-athlete.
I am not confident at all.
No,
I was back there like, oh my God, I'm so nervous to go out there. Like I was. That there's a reason why they gave me the microphone, and I'm always going to do my absolute best, no matter how much anxiety I have, which
trying out these new ways to introduce people, the anxiety is high.
Oh yeah,
it is.
Oh my gosh. And I think about it so much, so much. I give it way more thought than I probably should.
How are you at home? Are you in the car going like, Chelsea?
Like, man, Chelsea Green, that definitely evolved. Or
are you in the moment going, I'm going to do it?
It depends. It really depends. Like if I know that someone's debuting or if I know there's a big match, like I will try to think, or when someone wins a title, I try not to say the title's the same way. So since I've been there, we've had 3 different undisputed tag team champions. Each one, the Usos are undisputed. The Sammy and Kevin are undisputed. So everybody has their own.
That's awesome.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a ring announcer like that. Like I like when wrestlers do like little things, have either little details in their match, or little details in their gear, or just something for the people really paying attention.
Yeah.
But you're doing that, and I'm sure that the guys and girls really like it because you're doing it based on their characters, which, if done effectively, is going to push their character forward, right?
Yes. That's been the most rewarding part, is when one of the superstars comes to me and says, I love you, did more of that, or yeah, thank you for just being excited. And that helps me get through my nerves too, because I'm so freaking nervous every time I'm standing in the ring.
Still now.
I'm nervous right now. Yes.
Wow.
I'm always because you don't want anything to go wrong, and you want to do a good job, and it's an important moment. And I look at whoever the superstars are and I think, no, this is for them. They're more nervous than me. This is for them. And that gives me more like strength and confidence.
Ring announcing is also the only job on the broadcast side where there is that moment, especially for the big matches, the Roman Reigns matches.
Yes.
You're on at WrestleMania.
Yep.
Camera's on you. The 2 biggest superstars in the company are on either side of you. And you're going to let the audience know it's time for this match.
Yep. And Paul Heyman's here looking at me like this. Yeah.
Yeah, because that way, even with a microphone, you're like, you don't understand. It's really tough to talk into a microphone. And Heyman's like, yeah. Is it?
Yeah.
That's got to be, I mean, does the amount of nerves change per match like that? Or is it just kind of an overall, this all feels the same? Because that's what I was thinking, right? When I look at like you, especially those championship intros with spotlights on WrestleMania.
Oh, my favorite ones. No, I'm always like, guys, I feel like the show's going over. We might not be able to fit in that announcement today.
You should probably do this from the outside.
Yeah,
No.
I need to sit over there.
Yeah. Yeah. And of
Yeah.
course, no note cards, no nothing.
No.
Like, do you have moments?
Man, y'all are learning that I'm not confident at all. They're like, she
Which
don't
was the
believe in
op-
herself. We were wrong about her.
Yeah, which was the opposite.
Does she sound like she's intrigued on being WWE? I mean, look at her opportunities that was given to her. This is the opportunity that she got that was rare. You came into WWE, came in not announcing but wrestling. You knew that you couldn't wrestle. The company knew you couldn't wrestle. And then you say you can't wait till it's over. You say you hope a fire alarm or something happened. Then you have your head down. You don't seem like she's intrigued on being in WWE. I don't get that passion, fire. I just don't see that in her. I don't see it at all. Maybe you guys see it, but it's just, like I said, something not flowing right for her. But let's see what else more Samantha had to say.
Because the way you present yourself, I'm like, maybe she could tell us how to be confident about ourselves. No, she's lying.
Oops. Fake it till you make it. No, it's the superstars. I get everything from the superstars. I get the ideas from the superstars, the strength, the confidence, the excitement. Every single thing is about and for the superstars. And I mean that.
Do you have moments where you blank? Or like right before you say it, you go, oh, I hope I remember that Roman Reigns is from Pensacola, Florida.
Always.
Yeah.
Always. Because when you're up there, you're like, there's certain things that are muscle memory, and that's a good thing and a bad thing because things change all the time.
Of
You know what I
course.
mean? So you're used to announcing something a certain way and then it changes. Like we made Gunther the ring general. I didn't used to say that. Then we added it in. So I'm
And you
like,
have to-
okay, that kind of switches, you know. But man, that WrestleMania moment, Roman and Cody, easily, hands down, the most effort I probably put into any single thing ever. Like I almost passed out after I was done saying Roman Reigns' name.
I mean, and you should, right? Because
It's
like
WrestleMania, damn, it's the tribal chief.
Exactly. And I think sometimes people don't realize like so much work has been put into this moment.
Yes.
So many people have put so much work into telling a story that was so strong.
Yeah.
We're almost a year later and people are still pissed that Cody didn't finish.
No, for real.
But
Cody's doing good though.
He's doing great.
He seems fine.
He seems all right.
Yeah.
He's brought up the story a couple times, but he's good.
He's okay.
He's good. I think he's okay. You know what? I'm going to tell you something about Cody Rhodes. He's going to be fine.
He's gonna be.
He's going to be
gonna pull
just
through.
fine. But like so much time has been put into that, so much effort, so much money, and so many people have done it.
Yeah.
And now it's like we're one moment away
Yep.
from it actually happening. Here's the ball.
Yeah. Yes. And I say, think about how many times during a day you're like, hey, oh, sorry, that was weird. Like, what if that happened?
Right.
Right then and there. And that's what I think, especially being a vocalist. I just want everything to sound exactly the way I hear it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the stress and the pressure comes in. It's my own thing. I made it all up. I don't have to say it like that.
But now you do.
But now I do.
You
because
started it.
I started it, and it's too late now. I can't just be like, oh, and now Roman Reigns. You guys will be like, no, we won't accept that.
Yeah, that's not what we came
Yeah.
here for. No. So Royal Rumble is tomorrow. You have to read the rules?
Oh, goodness. Let me think. Yes, I probably will.
Yeah, because I've been going back and watching old Royal Rumble matches, as one does this time of year.
Yes.
And the rules have evolved over time, but they don't get less, they get more.
No, they do. They
Right.
get more intricate
Mm-hmm.
because you need to, both feet hitting the floor.
Right.
Little things like that you have to make sure you say.
Right.
Those are the ones those are my least favorite. Royal Rumble is my favorite PLE to watch,
Yes.
but those rules, terrible. Money in the Bank, terrible. War Games, terrible. Yeah, it's a
fun to
lot.
say. Was that pressure though when you had to say war games? Because
What you mean it's horrible to say? It was your job. You gotta say that. That's your job. What's so horrible about doing your job? I said something's don't sit right with this situation here. It don't.
You know what's gonna happen? No. Words? You just made the list.
What you mean? It's like she didn't like doing anything. Samantha, I'm getting the feeling that you want everything to be a cakewalk for you. Now I get it. She has her own style. She's very innovative how she does the ring announcing, like she said, for Roman Reigns, the Usos, Cody Rhodes, whoever, Gunther. But it seemed like you want everything to be easy for you. Let's continue on. We almost done this interview. Then we'll talk about Ricochet when he left too.
Well, yeah,
William
'cause
Regal had,
yeah, of
made
course.
such a thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, I don't like the sound of my own voice either.
What?
Let's really talk about this.
Yeah, we gotta break some
I
things
suck.
down.
I don't like my voice. No, it's hard listening back to yourself. I'm like, oh my God, that was trash.
This game, you're not ready for it.
Wow.
But I also try not to listen to it. It's about the moment.
Yes.
It's about the feeling of the moment. And, you know.
Does she pull off the moments? That's what I thought.
Thank you, guys.
That's what I thought. So you said HBK walked into your tryout.
Yes, he did.
Were you a fan growing up?
That's my ex. Because when I was 7, you
Right.
couldn't tell me that was not my man. When I was 7, that was my man.
That was your guy.
That was my guy.
This is the Sean who had the red T-shirt where he was hanging out of the heart, going like this.
Yeah, and who was that girl that one time he brought in the ring with this heart? Remember? Do you remember that? And he was like, dude, and she was on her shoulders. I said, who is that? Pamela Anderson came out with him that one time.
Who is that?
Look, what is this?
Yeah, no, I get it. So you were an HBK fan growing up?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
The
Shawn
posters
Michaels,
and everything.
Everything. Scrapbooks, all of it.
Scrapbooks. You had Shawn
Yes.
Michaels scrapbooks?
Yeah, multiple. Yes.
Do you still have them?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Wow.
And I want to keep my job.
Okay, because by the way, the next live Not Sam Wrestling podcast, you and Shawn Michaels are gonna look at some scrapbooks.
I think he knows. He don't want nothing to do with me. We don't talk about it. I think he knows. He's like, oh, hey, how are you? I'm like, okay. I moved up so quick from NXT.
Yeah.
I wasn't there
No,
long.
she's ready. She's
They
ready
said,
now.
She's ready.
now.
Bring her up. Get her out of the PC.
She keeps taking Polaroids.
Woo!
Oh yeah. So did you have a favorite Shawn Michaels match growing up, or was it just the sort of entity that he was?
I do. I always drop the Royal Rumbles, 95 and 96.
Sure.
Are my favorites. Royal Rumble 96 specifically, and his whole run of 1996. So Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 12.
The boyhood dream finally coming true.
Yeah, all of that.
You were
Every
with that.
match of that year, I watched over and over and over and over and over again. SummerSlam with Vader, Psycho Sid. Blah.
You must have gotten real upset when he hit Jose Lothario with that camera.
I know. Don't play Jose like that.
I know.
Just terrible.
This guy's a legend.
Just terrible.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible guy. Sid. Terrible guy.
Really.
But he got what was coming to him.
Well,
Shawn
yeah,
got his title back.
you know, look, Jim Cornette doesn't like me.
Jim Cornette does not like
I
you.
shouldn't have said that.
No, probably not. He does not like you?
That's what I've heard.
Oh.
But it's his fault that I'm this way. I think he thinks that I'm too much. That's what I've heard. But I grew up watching him. I blame him fully.
I mean, Jim Cornette was a lot.
He was a lot.
He
And now
was a
I'm
lot.
a lot. And I grew
Right.
up watching him. So it's absolutely his fault.
Yeah, he had that tennis racket, the bright jackets
Screaming
and
all the
everything.
time.
Screaming all the time.
All the time.
Right.
Yep.
You're putting on a show.
Yep.
That's what this is. It's show business.
It's showbiz.
I get it. So you were a wrestling fan growing up the whole time?
I've been a wrestling fan the whole entire time. That's really, again, like, that's how it happens. I always hoped that in my music, in my performing, that I would go out and put out an album or do a movie or something and then, like, come back, you know, like be on my Bad Bunny.
Yeah.
So I didn't imagine that it would be this way, but it's perfect. I wouldn't change it for anything. I'm so proud that this is the way. I mean, I've been singing and performing for a long, long time, and it just feels like nothing fully stuck as much as this has stuck. So
Yeah.
I'm proud that this is how people know me. I'm in the WWE. I will always rep WWE all the time because I always have, even when I was a kid.
You know what I just realized? the girlhood dream has finally come true.
The girl.
Give it up for the girlhood dream one time.
Let's go.
That's amazing. And it is an amazing thing about being a wrestling fan that, like, of course you have other dreams and other pursuits and other passions, but you do, if you're a real wrestling nerd, there's always something in the back of your mind that goes, and maybe this goes back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Right?
Wrestling has helped me through every other facet of my career.
Really?
Yes.
How so?
I mean, I can use America's Got Talent as an example, because I was on season 10 of that show. I made it to the semifinals. So I made it through the live shows. We were at Radio City Music Hall, the whole thing. But for me, I'm just thinking like, okay, so this is how the people see me. This is like what it is. No matter what, I got my time on TV. Like, I was really able to compartmentalize that and, you know, keep my character and really be focused in my attitude. Everything that I do, I'm just like, I think I'm The Rock. Like, I think I'm Stone Cold. You know what I mean? You think that you have that attitude and you have that confidence. And I'm sure all of you guys' jobs, you can think of a way that attitude and confidence has been for somebody else, you know, as wrestling fans. You walk in the room and you draw a little to see if you know something,
and then they drop something. You're like, okay,
exactly. Like, did you just say Ho Train?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Staying right here for the rest of this gathering.
All right, that's Samantha Irvin on Not So Sam. This is what she talking about when she was on America's Got Talent. This is how she was discovered into WWE, as she stated in an interview by Mark Henry, who also spoke on that as well. He did an interview with Chris Van Fleet a while back, and he talked about how he saw America's Got Talent and he saw Samantha Irvin on there. But yeah, this is that she talked about her way, how she got into WWE. Kevin S. O'Soro says Samantha did great. Announcer Chelsea Green, The Girlhood Dream, a great segue, aka HBK by Sam Roberts. I did see a pic of Samantha and Lillian. I think Lillian came back to WWE New York. Kayla Braxton's banter with Paulie Dance was so good. It was. You're right, it was. You know, and I know Mark Henry spoke on her. This is what he had to say about her, of how he discovered her.
And for Samantha Irvin, what did you see in Samantha Irvin?
Man, when I saw her on America's Got Talent, she played it, and she played the flute.
Played the flute, yeah.
She sang, and when they asked her questions, she was glib. She didn't just answer the question. You can ask me a question. I'm gonna take your question, and 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna stop you and say, you know what, that was a good start, but this is where the tire meets the road. She has that. Everybody don't. And the people.
So that was Mark Henry speaking on Samantha Irvin. That's how she got into WWE. And like I said earlier, why would you leave WWE in the way you came in? Because let's be honest, you weren't supposed to come in the way you did. You were supposed to be a wrestler. Mark Henry pulled the, got some plug at the time, got you in, and you ended up becoming a ring announcer, knowing that's not initially why you came in. You pretend like you want to wrestle, and you couldn't wrestle. You did the tryout, and you probably told them that you could sing. They heard you sing. They heard your voice, and they ended up making you become a ring announcer for WWE. And that's what you've done your whole WWE career. You've done that. You've done your career with the great voice, and then the last time we saw you in Ricochet, it was that. And then you left shortly after in October. Now, speaking of Ricochet, we know that Ricochet left months prior. He also did an interview himself. Now, Ricochet did an interview on Chris Jericho. So he was on Chris Jericho, Talk is Jericho. And he talked about how he left WWE. Like I said, still strange why didn't these two leave together as a couple? Like I said, it's so strange, but it's just these guys are engaged to get married. and we'll pull that interview up in a minute. They were engaged to get married. They, they look good together. They always taking photos. And remember, like I said, some things we just got to address. If you guys remember, they still engaged now, like I said earlier. Remember, Samantha Irvin she asked JoJo to sing at her wedding. If you guys remember, that was early this year around WrestleMania 40 time.
At my wedding. What's up, y'all? It's WrestleMania 40, and I just right now want to ask JoJo if she will be my bridesmaid at my wedding. Wait, seriously? Yes, girl. Wait, no, really? Yes, girl. Oh my God. Yes, we both know. I love you. Oh my God. I love you. Yes. Send me that.
So, like I said, these two supposed to get married. Still no wedding. Haven't heard anything of it. And that was early this year. He's been engaged since beginning of 2023. But we're gonna see what Ricochet had to say about his interview with Chris Jericho, because he talks about him leaving WWE. So let's see what Ricochet had to say about this whole thing. We are going to Jericho now. Let's see.
When you eventually told, I'm assuming it was Hunter, that you weren't coming back, was that an issue? Did they try and help you stay, or did it was just like whatever you want to do, go for it? Because
yeah, I think it was. And who really knows what they were thinking at the time? Maybe they thought that I was going to just stay, and maybe they did think that. I don't know. But it was funny because I forgot what year it was. I forgot what year I won the Intercontinental Championship. But like that year, I had actually went to Laurinaitis and was like, "Hey guys, I kind of want to quit. Like, I don't want to come." Like, I was like, I said, I would like go back to the Indies and like make, a quarter of the money I'm making now. Then they're like, "Come back in here next week. It sucks."
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's a terrible way to be.
But at the time, I said, this is what I told him. I was like, at the time, but man, I was like, everybody kind of feels that way. I was like, if you just ask the guys, none of them like it right now. This was obviously years ago.
Right.
So at that time, and we were just talking, I was just venting my frustrations about everything. And it was funny, like, he had asked me, he was like, "Well, we've been thinking about doing some things." He was like, "We're thinking about, putting you in an Intercontinental Championship match, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "How do you feel about that?" He's like, "Is that something you're interested in?" He goes, "Or do you still just want me to let them know you want to go?" I was like, "You could still just let them know."
Yeah.
I said, "Thank you, though." I said, "But you can still just let them know."
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, later that night, literally, I'm watching and it's like, "Next week, Intercontinental Championship match." I'm like, "Okay, well, they got me."
I had that once. I remember I was losing a bunch, and I had to do a job for Viscera, big Vis, who at the time was, not very high in the totem pole. And I remember it was in, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to tell Vince I'm quitting." He goes, "Well, let me tell you what you're doing tonight." I said, "I don't care what I'm doing tonight." "Well, you might, because you're winning the world title from Triple H." And I was like, "Okay, I'll listen." He's like, "All right, what do you got?"
Well, it was funny because they're like Intercontinental Championship match. And then like next week, I did win. Thanks to Johnny Knoxville. Thank you, Johnny Knoxville, for helping me. I did win, but it's like, I said, okay, from here, I'm just going to do everything they ask of me. Whatever they need me to do, I'm just going to do it. Fight my little battles, voice my opinion. But for the most part, I'm just going to do everything they ask of me. So like when contract season comes around, if I just don't feel valued or feel how I want to feel, then I know it's okay to just walk.
Yeah.
And that's kind of basically from that point. Again, that was 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
From that point, I had made a decision. When the contract comes back around, if I don't feel good, then I'm just going to leave. Like, it's bitter. It's who makes me feel the best.
Did you feel like you had to change your style or simple up your style a bit up there?
No, it's funny because I was still doing 630s and springboard shooting stars, and I did a springboard 450 onto the announce table, and like I was still doing like all the stuff I was doing. I think it was, it's a different style. It's more of a TV production up there, so it's more of selection, and also like for my character, Ricochet's character, it's like once the match starts, I'm instantly getting beat up. You know what I mean? Because for one, we probably only got 3 minutes anyway. So, so once the match starts, like I'm instantly fighting from under.
Yeah.
So now I can't really start kind of not on top, but I can't really start even with people.
Right.
Because I didn't even really wrestle people my size. I didn't wrestle AJ Styles a lot, or I didn't wrestle Johnny Gargano. I was always in there with Drew McIntyre or Bobby Lashley or Sheamus. Or I was always in there with the biggest dudes.
It's still a big man's territory.
Yeah,
you know?
which is fine. It's just great, but it's like
it's interesting because I'm picking up what you're saying here is you still could do all the stuff and still did, but who are you going to do it with?
Yeah, who am I?
Right, because there's other guys here, for example, and we'll talk about Ospreay, like an Ospreay. That's you. Pac is you. Like all these guys here, I can see what you're saying.
And then to add on to that, it's like I can give you a suplex, or I can't I can't give Bobby Lashley a suplex, or like even one time me and Drew were in there and we did something, and I did something. Obviously, I went to pick him up and I couldn't pick him up, and then we did a story where like I gave him a couple kicks and like he fell into the ropes and he came out, and I used his momentum to pick him up and give him a move. And
you got to do that.
I came to the back and they said, no, you can't do that.
Oh,
literally, they told me you can't do that. You can't pick me. It makes him look like. But like I can squat like over 400 plus pounds.
Doesn't
literally.
matter.
So it's like why? You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
So,
like you said, it's just the style there.
Yeah. One time I was wrestling Retribution.
Who's that?
It was Ali, Dijak, who was T-Bar. One of the Mason Matt and one of the big models.
Yeah, all the names, whatever they're called.
So they were a big group.
T-Bar.
They usually just beat my ass every week. I went from Hurt Business beating my ass to Retribution beating my ass for like weeks. But I did one spot in the match where, one guy get a drop kick and duck one, and then one guy gets something and then do a thing on something. But either way, I still lost the match. But it was like my one spot in the match. And then it ends with a dive, and then it ends with something. And then I just remember coming to the back, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's great." And then I remember Vince being like, "Yo, that was too spectacular."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, He goes, "It was too spectacular." He was like, "John Cena couldn't even do that."
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm thinking, "Well, no, he can't do that. He literally can't do that." I understand. I agree with you, but I'm just so confused, and I want to. But I'm the type of person. If I start to say something, I'm gonna say.
Too much.
I'm gonna say too much. Ask anybody who knows me. I get it from my mom.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I just say okay, because what am I gonna do in Gorilla? I'm gonna start an argument with them. No.
And I think you're picking up also too, like here in WWE, John Cena is the be all end all. Like John Cena couldn't even do that. You're like literally he couldn't, but in the mind of the boss, he's the guy.
Yeah.
So now you're starting to realize, okay, so we have to all kind of
play our role,
yeah,
like you
absolutely.
said. And that's okay. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just when you're still kind of new and you're figuring that out, and no one's really communicating with you.
And you're right.
And so you just go through these emotions, but once you figure it out, it's like, oh, okay, we're chilling. Once you figure it all out, finally, it's all good.
And you did a great kind of leaving the territory angle. I was just thinking this was with Braun Breaker, right?
All right, that's Ricochet. That was on Talk is Jericho, show that Chris Jericho does, his podcast. But like I said, he left prior to 4 months before Samantha. And like I said, he played a big role in why Samantha left WWE. And I'll say it again. I mean, Ricochet, he seemed like he was frustrated. That was during the Vince time. But we got to call, this man was the Intercontinental Champion. You go from being Intercontinental Champion to be on Collision. Come on, Ricochet. That is a downgrade. You say you want equality and all that, but you go for being on SmackDown, winning this IC title. Now you're on Collision. No disrespect to Leo Rush. He's a great talent, too. Another former WWE guy who was the former Cruiserweight champion. But you're on Collision? Come on. Make it make sense, man. But I think he's the reason why Samantha left, because the things were never, ever the same for her. It never, ever the same for her ever again. Never got the attention she got. The spotlight was just never on her ever again during this whole time. like I said, why leave WWE this way? Not just Samantha, but Ricochet as well. Because I'm still trying to see what the next move going to be for both. We know Ricochet, he's in AEW. God rest his soul, and I mean his career. God rest his career. And Samantha, we don't know what she's going to do next. We don't know if you're going to sing. We don't know if you're going to be in the sports and entertainment. And I said this before in the video, and he already said, according to Ricochet, she's not coming to AEW. He already said that. But we're going to see what the next move is going to be for Samantha Irvin, because she did not leave WWE on good terms. She didn't get a farewell by WWE. So, like I said, very did a good recap here. I don't have anything else more to say, guys. Everything else is left. There's nothing else left to be said. It's just very weird how she left. Did Samantha Irvin leave because of Ricochet? That's the $1 million question. And I would say, yeah, he played a big role in that. I really think so. You did not leave on the best terms. No tribute show, whether the show was taped or not. Ricochet, I think he left WWE because Samantha Irvin. I think he was jealous, my opinion, of the attention she was getting. Maybe he wanted her. He thought she was going to leave to go AEW with him. That remains to be seen. I don't see her. He says she's not coming unless he's trolling us. But she's not coming to AEW. Why did you guys leave the way you did? You guys both was in WWE, #1 promotion, and now neither one of you there. And one's in AEW. Samantha, I don't know where the else goes. I don't even know if you guys are still together. My opinion, I think they're broken up. I said this before. You guys are supposed to be getting married, and I don't see that happening. And they're supposed to have a wedding. You had a good storyline when they wrote Ricochet off. Ricochet left. However, Samantha, you still stayed. And now neither one of you guys are there. Like I said, it's the weirdest couple exit I've ever seen. You guys, if it's your fiance, you're going to ride with Ricochet. You should have left with Ricochet, Samantha. Why you guys leaving separate times? I still don't know why. And that's because I believe you guys are not really a couple anymore. I don't think they're engaged. I don't think they're together. I think they took the Adam Cole breakup route. They're still, despite not being together no more, they're still great friends. Ricochet's probably going to say he thinks the world of Samantha Irvin, just like Adam Cole said with Britt Baker that we heard earlier this week. I don't think they're a couple no more, because you would have got married by now. They just keep everything under wraps. That's how they do in the entertainment industry and the wrestling industry. The couple breaks up. They take a long hiatus before they announce. One of these two are going to announce the breakup. Then it's, oh, yeah, we broke up. We still friends. Oh, yeah, we didn't know that. We never knew. We didn't think you guys broken up, but we knew all the whole time. So, like I said, that's all I have regarding this Samantha Irvin leave WWE because of Ricochet. We're talking the weirdest exit ever of these two. You guys let me know what you think. They had the interviews covered of Samantha Irvin, how she got to WWE, Ricochet of how he exited WWE. Samantha Irvin has not yet to do an interview staging how she exited WWE. So maybe we'll hear something in the future. But other than that, guys, that's all I have regarding the situation. You guys in the comment section, let me know what you think of it. Do you think it's very odd how these two left WWE? You guys let me know. Love to hear what you guys have to say on it. Or maybe it's just exaggeration, whatever the case may be. Soon to videos will pop up. You guys click the links below. And of course, guys, you already know what it is at this point. It is OU.
Me and Chris Benoit basically all started together, pretty much. You started a little bit earlier.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
But they pushed me to the moon and they held you guys back. And we all started at the same time. We were wrestling each other. We were getting each other over, putting each other over. And I thought we were all going to kind of come up together. And it was like, you guys stayed behind. And it was like, what's going on?
Well, I mean, we definitely had to work harder because you already said it, Kurt. You already know the answer is that you were a WWE guy.